morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Sit-Downs with yours truly, R. Adrianis. My deepest apologies for everybody, to everybody, and for everybody who has had to deal with my delayed video uploads. I mean, what did I say? I was gonna be putting it on a Wednesday, and it's Sunday. Someone just flogged me. And also, as you may notice, Shaky Camera Guy is dead. Long live Shaky Camera Guy. And we have Steady Camera Guy now. The camera guy who actually comes home to his wife and kids, brings home the bacon, and he's so dependable, and, hopefully he'll be here to stay. But yeah, today's sit-downs, we're going to be talking about something that's pretty much relatable for every person, every writer, anybody who does anything creative, and that's the idea of inspiration. I wanted to talk about inspiration, what it means to me, and what I've seen how it affects others who are in the creative fields, or not even just doing creative work, but work that kind of needs that extra little push that you might not be able to do from your own motivation. You need to kind of take a step back and look at others, look at things, not even others, but things around you that can help you kind of get through the toils of your work. Let's jump right into it. Inspiration for me, at least, as a writer, I've written my two books, Fatal Followers and book, which will remain unnamed until later. But Fatal Followers, as a lot of you guys know, I started writing it when I was 15 years old. I finished it when I was 17. And, I was really happy. I was really great with the fact that I was able to complete something, so grand, something that, a lot of young people, they don't really have those kind of aspirations. They want to get through high school, they want to get into college, great. And, same thing was for me. I went to college and everything. But, the book thing was like, it was a passion. It wasn't a duty. And, and I didn't start it because, partly, yeah, I did start it because I was bored this one summer, but also because I felt inspired. I wanted to create a story that was kind of, at least capable of reaching the mantle of something else that was very close to my heart. It was a graphic novel, admittedly. So yeah, I got inspired by a comic book, more specifically a manhwa, by Minwoo Young. A lot of you might be familiar with it, and they made that. I don't want to say horrible movie, but they did make that movie that many of you are aware of. The name of both the manhwa and the movie, Priest. Yeah, take out everything you know about the movie. That is not what inspired me. Did inspire me was the book, or was the manhwa, Korean manga, Priest. I think it's a 16. I think it's 16. I'm not sure if it's 16 or 17. I have the whole thing. I just can't remember off the top of my head. It's a 16 volume series, and it's about this man who's a former priest who's brought back from the dead to kind of serve the purposes of this demon to go fight this fallen angel. And it had a lot of really cool dark elements, kind of defying destiny, creating a life for one's own, not being able to escape darkness, sort of thing. All these themes that I thought were really excellent. And because it had a supernatural backdrop to it, I thought it was even greater because there was such gruesome imagery that it was just something that I wanted to capture, but in a story of my own making. I didn't want to make a carbon copy of Priest. I was inspired by it. It was something that gave me a lot of really great ideas. I did take away some of the elements, some of the things that I did want to replicate from that story, and I did put it into my book. And I feel like I captured what, or should I say, I performed to the level that I wanted very well. I go and look back and I read Priest every now and then, and I see it, and I see where I was like, oh yeah, that part was really cool, and I really wanted to do something that was similar to it, something of my own something of my own mind. And that was one of my main inspirations. And then the current book that I'm working on right now, Bonds That Hold Us, it's a dystopian story. I got inspired to write that book from the numerous dystopian stories that I've been reading throughout the years, namely 1984 by George Orwell. And that book is just such a staple in my library. Things that I've read haven't really stuck out as much as 1984 has. There have been a few others, but 1984, I think everyone needs to read it, and I'm sure a lot of people will say this about other books of its genre, namely Fahrenheit 451 or Brave New Worlds, which are also excellent books, and I would definitely recommend them. But 1984, just personally for me, I thought it was very interesting, and I wanted to kind of get that sort of hopeless dystopian, you are so much under the control of the establishment that you have no way of escaping, but you want to, you need to. And and for Bonds That Hold Us, I did not want to capture the idea of being conditioned under the establishment. As some of you may know, I'm not going to put any spoilers for the end of the book, but yeah, I didn't want to go for that kind of ending. I do like hopeful endings, or at least endings that leave chances for my characters. So when we come to the end of Bonds That Hold Us, that's what I'm going to be going for. But yeah, and then inspiration, art, film. I have a few people who are artists, graphic designers as well, who get inspired by things around them, as do I. You just go walk down the street, you go out with some friends, you see things at a museum, on the city streets. I mean, you get ideas everywhere as long as you're looking. Just always look. I mean, there's so much to intake, there's so much to absorb. And I think that's one of the keys to inspiration. You won't get inspired unless you're open to seeing the world around you. And I think that's one of the greatest experiences of being someone who does creative work. And then, like I mentioned earlier, even if it's not creative work, if you're just on your daily grind, if you're an accountant, if you're a lawyer, if you're studying law, if you're a lawyer, if you're a civil servant, I mean, you may not be inspired to just go every day and answer phone calls, or do customer service or whatever, but you may get inspired to try to make your condition better in some fascinating way. And that, inspiration also applies there too. So I think inspiration is very key, not just to creative writing, not just to creativity, not just to writing, but to life in its core element. Inspiration is very important. But hope this has been a good sit downs for you guys. Today's going to be a bonus day. It's going to be an awesome day because we're going to be doing later today reviews for Thor: The Dark World and Ender's Game. Ender's Game came out last week. Thor came out this week, and I had the fortune of watching both of them within a 2-day sequence, so I was very happy. Both excellent films, but you'll be getting my full review on them later today. But thank you for joining me with this here on the Sit Downs. Once again, I'm R. Adrianus. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be seeing everybody later today. Peace and love.